And hang on tight. I think 2019 is going to be even more awesome. More burger, more Chris, more Halo. And happy Halo days, everyone.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's my last video before Christmas, and boy is it going to be a good one. As you can see, I've whipped out the all caps video title, so you know that today we are talking about something juicy. Today, we are talking about more new Infinite details, ranging from armor customization, to playable elites, don't get too excited, to the betas, and some teasers for 2019, as well as a kind of leak-esque thing that pertains to Halo Infinite's campaign. Consider this a Christmas gift from me to you. So, yet again, everything aside from the leak, of course, in this video comes from 343's social stream. The other day, they had Chris Leon, who is the studio head for Halo Infinite. Basically, he's the guy in charge of the entire game's development, as well as David Berger, who is the technical director for it. Unishock was there too, as well as Sketch, who was wearing his Thanos Christmas sweater, so if anybody said anything that they maybe shouldn't have said, he could just click his fingers, and all the Infinite leaks would disappear. Alrighty, so let's begin with confirmation of something that I think a lot of people are going to be really hyped about, especially after Halo 5. 343 have officially played Halo Infinite in split screen, but not just any type of split screen, in the OG 4-player split screen. Part of me always thought that when they said split screen was coming back, it would only ever be 2-player to sort of just satisfy the need, because honestly, 4-player split screen, having 4 instances of the game running at the same time must be so technically difficult, but they've blown me away. They've gone the full mile, which is really awesome to see. The next announcement, or I guess I should say the next heavily hinted announcement, pertains to Infinite's armor customization. Now, for years, Halo fans have basically universally agreed upon the fact that Halo Reach's armor customization was without a doubt the best in the entire Halo series, and when Chris Lee was asked about his thoughts on these fans, here's what he had to say.
So I would say that those fans are going to be really excited when they get to learn more about our Halo Infinite customization. I agree that Reach did a really great job there.
So, there you have it, folks. That's pretty much as close as you can get to confirming something without formally confirming it. But there's more. The guys once again confirmed that the undersuits in Halo Infinite are indeed black, just like classic Halo. This was one of the biggest complaints in Halo 4 and Halo 5 because the coloured undersuits in those games made the Spartan designs look kind of messy and nothing really stood out, as opposed to classic Halo, where the undersuit contrasted heavily with the armour pieces and made them stand out. So again, it's great to hear more black undersuit confirmation. I honestly can't get enough of that. With all this in mind, they also talked about how player expression in Halo Infinite is key, which is honestly why using Halo Reach's customization system is such a smart idea. That system was the absolute pinnacle of player expression. Everyone's Spartans looked unique to them. There were so many customization options which really allowed you to design your Spartan in a way that felt almost personal and unique to you and your taste. And when it comes to uniqueness, Chris Lee also practically confirmed that there's going to be some sort of reward in Infinite for anybody who hit the max rank in Halo 5, which is 152. It absolutely baffled me that there was absolutely no unique reward whatsoever in Halo 5 for hitting max rank, like nothing like a flaming helmet or a haunted helmet, especially after how long hitting max rank took in that game. So it's great to hear that that feedback has been well and truly heard. And then they briefly touched on something that people have been demanding day in, day out since Halo 4 removed them. Playable Elise. Somebody in the chat asked if they were going to be coming back in Infinite, to which Sketch replied with,
Will there be playable elites in Halo Infinite? That is outside the scope of what we will be discussing today, but I appreciate your perseverance.
They didn't say no. They also didn't say yes either, but at least they haven't outright denied it. Yet. If you were to ask me though, personally, I would 100% say that Halo Infinite will contain playable elites, just purely based on how we're seeing 343 react to fan feedback and the degree to which they are reacting. That's just my 2 cents based on what we've seen so far. They then went on to briefly talk about Chief's armor and overall design in Infinite, and they were all saying just how damn good it looks, and also that since E3 it's been ever so slightly tweaked, but for the better. And given Unishek's reaction,
yeah,
it's sick.
Is it? You've seen it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're in for a treat. Sparth also said on Twitter that if you like the Chief design that they showed off at E3, then you're gonna love what it looks like now. Not only does this make me so hyped to see Chief in action on Zeta Halo, but it also makes me even more excited to see the Reach-inspired armor customization system packed full of new classic-feeling armor pieces. Maybe we'll even see external customization options like armor effects make a return as well. Honestly, they were such a fucking good idea in Reach, and I was really sad when Halo 4 dropped them because there's so much potential there. Just one thing, 343, if you do this, I have one personal request. Please let me give my Spartan a ghillie suit. I will literally get on my knees and beg for the option to give my Spartan a ghillie suit. I know active camo exists, but nothing will ever look as dope as wearing a ghillie suit. I mean, just take these Halo Reach concept art pieces as proof of that. And also a cloak. Let us wear a cloak with the hood up, you know, just for nostalgia's sake. Okay, so let's briefly move away from all this stream stuff and talk about this leak. And I say leak loosely because it isn't really a conventional leak. It's basically a job posting that people have found for 343 for a senior systems designer to work on the next epic systems-driven Halo campaign, which is very clearly Infinite. It doesn't seem all that new and interesting until you scroll down and see that one of the requirements is familiarity with RPG and shooter game mechanics. Now, for years, people have theorized that one of the original plans for Halo 5 was for it to be a sort of Destiny-style game where you can travel between multiple planets and free roam them and then choose to take on missions when you wanted to. Personally, I was never a big fan of that idea, but it was just a theory. Of course, one of the main elements of a game styled that way is a sort of RPG-esque progression system, where your character, of course in this case Master Chief, can be almost leveled up as you progress through the story, and you can start to make certain aspects of him more powerful. Maybe this is more than just a theory for Infinite. Maybe the reason they need someone with RPG experience to work on the campaign is because it's going to be done that way. I mean, it has certainly fit with the multiple teasers that we've had of more open, expansive environments like Combat Evolved, so I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Like I said, personally, I'm not a huge fan of this idea. I'd much rather have a typical mission-based Halo campaign with maybe more open level design, but I can't say that the idea doesn't ever so slightly intrigue me. Anyways, back to the stream, because there's definitely some more stuff that we gotta talk about. Something that I think people are actually glossing over quite a bit is that 343 confirmed that they're currently in the process of building a pro team for Infinite. Now, what that means is that essentially they gather a team of the top pros and have them really test the limits of the game, like push the game to its absolute limits to see what works, what doesn't work, and also to ensure that they're developing a game that has a significant enough skill gap that's going to make playing it more and improving at it a worthwhile experience. This was one of the biggest aspects of Halo 5's development, and I'm glad to see that they're doing it again for Infinite, but what's interesting about this is that if they're currently assembling a pro team, then surely the game must have maps that are at the very least blocked out and partially completed, and the gameplay must be, like, at least mostly nailed down. Not finalized by any means, but definitely not in the early alpha stages. And then, to back this up, they then confirmed that the 343 Studio Tournament is taking place after the Christmas break, which is essentially just a sort of inter-studio tournament, and that this tournament is going to be taking place on builds of Halo Infinite. Now, obviously it's nothing serious, it's no $1 million global championship, but you can't play a tournament on a game that doesn't at the very least have playable maps and working gameplay. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of worth mentioning because people seem to be glossing over it, and it could be taken as a sort of indication as to how far into development the game actually is. Moving on, they said that they'll very likely be doing some Vidocs again for Infinite, which honestly is not a shock at all. It's kind of expected at this point. Vidocs are a long running tradition for Halo, so that's not something that I wouldn't expect. They then expanded on the flighting system that they're going to be using to test Infinite. Now, they're using a flighting system over a beta because a beta really only allows people to test one build of a game, how the game is sort of at that moment in time, whereas flighting allows people to constantly test different versions and iterations of it, so they can really get a feel for what works and also what doesn't work over a long period of time. It's going to be much bigger than a beta, and it's basically just going to work like the MCC Insider program. They're also going to use it as a way to develop a better relationship with the community, because ultimately they're going to be developing the game alongside the community. The program is going to start off small with only a few people, but it's going to get much bigger over time, and then eventually it's going to come over to PC as well. And now that we've mentioned PC, they gave us a few minor Infinite PC details. Infinite on PC is going to be a first-class experience, on par with the console version, and they're well aware of the specific different expectations of PC players, so things like FOV sliders, ultra-wide support, and uncapped frame rate. I imagine that's what they're on about. All in all, we still don't know that much about the PC version other than it's happening. We can only hope that it's going to be on Steam. And finally, Berger, the technical director for the game, gave us a few details about the new Slipspace engine. So 343 want Infinite to be a really personal game, and to fit their vision for it, which they mentioned is very big, they needed to almost re-architect some of the engine tools that are used to create the game, because the Blam engine that Bungie designed all the way back in the late 90s for Combat Evolved, despite its constant updates and overhauls over the years, still limits what can be done in terms of game design, and they really wanted to get over that hurdle for Infinite. Now, they did clarify that the Slipspace engine is not an entirely new engine, which is music to my ears. The Blam engine is what gives Halo that sort of really specific Halo feel that is impossible to replicate in any other engine, so when I heard there was going to be a new engine, I was kind of worried at first, but this definitely laid some of my worries to rest. All of the changes that they've apparently done to the engine since E3 have made it far more efficient and quick to use, and have also expanded the capabilities of it. So essentially, all of the technical lingo aside, that's nothing but good news for us. From what I can interpret, it basically means more content that's bigger, faster to develop, and can be released to us quicker. Pretty much all good stuff. And finally, before we get to the outro, I want to leave you guys with some parting words from Chris Lee about Halo in 2019. Chris is an awesome dude, like I've already said. I've had the pleasure of talking with him quite a few times, so this just makes me even more excited than I already am.
A lot of work to do in 2019. It's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year for us. We've got a lot of work to do, and I think the team's getting a break, and we're going to come back and we're going to make Infinite.
Alrighty, so that's about it in terms of recapping the stream. I tried to keep this video as short as possible, but at the end of the day, the stream was like an hour and a half long, so it could only be so short. Big thank you to everybody supporting me over on Patreon. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Merry Christmas, and I'll catch you all in the next one.